Good morning. It is time for Coffee Talk. I've got my French roast going on. That was not a very good. That wasn't very smooth. That one I sort of hit myself in the face. Got my GI Joe beard going on. I have my kung fu grip as I was asked, and as I was asked in the comments, said they liked the GI Joe beard. Do I have kung fu grip? Remember Steve Austin, the Steve Austin doll, $1 Million Man, $6 Million Man, and he had the little dot. A couple of these toys had that. You could like look through his eye, and then it had a reflector that you could actually see through your doll. The little, well, that was weird, wasn't it? That was your bionic eye on a Steve Austin doll. Not that I played with dolls. Well, played with GI Joe dolls. Isn't that interesting? We did have dolls, didn't we, back then? GI Joe doll. I remember I got a brand new GI Joe doll one day, and my brother had some string, and he tied the string around the arm and the leg and started whipping it around his head. And that was before the little plastic pieces were meant to come off. You know, you could pull the arm off and it would actually go back in. But this one wasn't like that, and he tore the arm and the leg off within like an hour of me owning this GI Joe guy. Maybe I shouldn't have been playing with dolls. I don't know what that was a random thought. We have gone off into random thoughts early on Sunday morning Coffee Talk. Did GI Joe have any tanks? I think they did have some tanks, but I don't know which ones. Anyway, let's get on with this thing. I guess I'm just jolly this morning. I'm getting fatter and jollier. It must be getting close to Christmas. You know, speaking of Christmas, we just took our Christmas down about a month ago, if you can believe it. So only 6 more months till we get to put it back up. My wife said it's so ugly outside that she wanted to keep it pretty inside. We finally got it taken down just in time for the temperature to hit 90 degrees around here. So, all right, we're going to talk channel news. We're going to look at missions and specials. Subjects du jour. We got some drama. Not here in NA, but over in EU. Kind of interesting, though, because it speaks to a couple of things. We'll discuss that as we go. So let's get started on this thing, and we will start with channel news. All right, so brace yourselves. Invite codes are coming, all right? I should have them, I think, in a week or so. It'll be specific to me. It'll give you a RAM, some gold, some premium time, and some boosters. And hey, because you're allowed to have more than one account anymore, you could actually use that and start yourself up a new account. I don't know why you would want to do that. That seems like a lot of pain. There may be a specific reason. Some people like to re-roll and try to work on their stats. I don't know. I don't know why people would do it. But the reroll thing, I guess, is the big one. And maybe people just like having multiple accounts. There you go. Now, there's nefarious things where you would try to get around certain things with that, but it seems like a lot of work just to kind of game the system. Anyway, I'm not suggesting you do that, of course. So invite code is incoming. Stream, I'm planning on streaming on the 7th, which is Tuesday, 2 days from now. Is it the 5th? Yes. It is 2 days from now, from 9 to 12. So catch me on my stream. I should be doing that the 9th to the 12th. At the end of the month, the Frau is going on a trip to meet some relatives over in England. So I'm going to do a lot of streaming in that area. I'm not sure if this is still happening, but I was going to be the featured streamer for a while. I'm going to try to actually talk to him if I'm still on board for that. I don't know if it was mentioned to me, and I haven't heard anything else, so you never know. But I'll try to make that happen on the week where the Frau is gone, and I can actually do a lot of streaming, all right? Because I will not be doing anything else. Don't tell my wife that I'm doing. Nobody tell my wife I'm planning on doing that. All right. She'd be fine with it, especially if she wasn't here. Okay. Let's see. Does that sound like I'm making excuses or something? This is definitely Random Tangent Sunday. This is the RT Sunday, the RTS. You guys want to know who the winner is of the T103? Too bad, I'm not telling you to the end. That's not true, I'm telling you right now. Kildewin, K-I-L-D-I-W-I-N from Clan Rolf. He was He put in his comment, and then somebody else, his friend, put on a comment and said, "Hey, my buddy Kill to Win really needs to win this. I don't want to win it. I'd like him to win it." You know, this kind of goes back to the double account thing. Maybe I was played there. That's pretty good though, man. If you guys played me like that, that's pretty good. The one guy, the one account you put on is like, "Hey, my buddy really could use this tank. I really, you know, I'm so what's the word I'm looking for? Giving, right? That if you just give my friend, and then his friend shows up down, you know, goes to the other account and shows up down there and says, "Oh, you know, my dog left me and my truck died, and I kicked the wife, and I really need no, don't kick. No, I'm just kidding." Anyway, Kill to Win is the winner of the T103. Speaking of T103, it's on sale. We'll get that in a minute. In fact, we're going to do that right now. I think that's all the channel news. I am down to one video a day for now. I've got a good stack. Oh, I did want to mention that. If you've sent me a replay in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I have a whole stack of them, and they're coming out. And I may actually be able to do a little sprint where we do 2 a day, because I know I've got a bunch of you guys stacked up right there. I was trying to keep some in reserve because on occasion lately, because I'm so busy, I've been unable to keep up, and I'm just barely getting the one out. But I probably have a dozen that are ready. So just hang in there. They're coming. As you can see on the bottom of my screen right there, these are all people who've sent me messages that have replays attached to them, or links for replays attached to them. So I'm doing it, fellas. So keep sending them if they're good, interesting, and especially if you want me to do a replay analysis, and most especially if you're somebody I have not done one for already, feel free to send that, and I'll get to the rest of everybody's stuff. If you want me to look at it and you don't necessarily need a whole video, you just want me to give you some pointers, or you have a specific question about an area, go ahead and put that into text when you send me the message, and then I will make sure I just watch that part, or really quickly watch it and knock out some comments for you on it without making a whole video. So that option is there if you want it. But lots of great replays, man. Some really awesome gameplay. You guys are sending me good stuff, so I definitely appreciate it. All right, missions and specials. Let's move on to that. All right, let's do a little tour of this. This is the main page here. So if you've not been to the portal, I assume most of you have. If you haven't, this is very useful up here. Very useful. worldoftanks.com, the NA version. It'll redirect you depending on region. If you're EU, obviously you're going to the EU version, and I can't promise it looks the same. Do they look the same? I should look into that. I don't think they do. And this will actually come up a little bit later when we talk about the drama. The slight drama. It's not a big deal. Okay. The T103 is on pre-order. We'll look at that in just a minute. There are some May the 4th be with you. Get it? Get that? Never really understood that. Somebody had to actually, I'm pretty quick on the uptake. Somebody had to explain that to me a couple years ago. I'm like, why is Star Wars celebrated on May the 4th? They kind of looked at me like, you're an idiot. And I said, that's true. I am an idiot. What are we talking about? He goes, May the 4th be with you. I'm like, that is stupid and cool. Good. I knew that. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Now I know it. I know it now. I know. All right. May the 4th be with you. Although for some reason they say this 4th is for you. 4th of what? Why did they say this 4th? Is that trademarked? May the 4th be with you. Do they own that? Have they? I would not doubt it. I would not doubt it. Let me know down below. I don't understand why they wouldn't use it, but maybe there's something that stops them. Kind of like this, where they're working the Game of Thrones angle, right? Ice or fire. Fire won, by the way. Won in at least for now, episode 3. Are they the good guys? You know what I mean? You're like, is the Night King the bad guy? I don't know. There seems to be fire and ice, and we all think that they're the good guys, but is there a bad guy? I don't know. We're about to find out. But anyway, another random tangent had. Very good. Fire won. We'll get to it in a minute, but you get a special camo, which I believe is on the tank in the back there. No, that's not true. That's not it. Never mind. We'll get to it. This is fun. This is fun right here. Let's see. None of this. We'll talk about the scavenger hunt in a minute. But let's just look at this for a minute because we're on missions and specials. This is great. All right. This is the World of Tanks 8th birthday box. It is 113 US dollars. What do you get for 113 US dollars? You get an 8th birthday t-shirt, a commander's mug, embroidered zip-up hoodie, sweatpants, a Lego flask. That would be pretty cool. It's a logo flask. You know what would not be cool? Lego socks. Those would suck. World of Tanks carbine keychain, a pewter. Oh, we got 2 keychains. Why would you need 2 keychains? Anyway, they're in there. And a World of Tanks tiger pin. Now look, I know I am kind of making fun here. I'm definitely making fun here. Some people love this kind of thing. I'm kind of I don't even spend $100 on clothes in a year anyway. So, I mean, look at me. I wear t-shirts and a hat, and I'm not wearing any pants. Sorry, we're gonna keep this PG rated. I am wearing pants, by the way. All right. Actually, they're pajamas, but whatever. That's what you can do when you're a YouTuber, right? You can just wear shorts, or you wear that button down on your tie. You see people do that. They're sitting there in the camera and they're all dressed up, but down there they're just wearing a pair of sweatpants or something. Anyway, what does this stuff look like? What does this stuff look like? Oh, there it is. I didn't even know this existed till recently. This is actually a different store, the Wargaming store. Well, how can I see this stuff? What is this? That's it. Oh, there it is. All right, we got the whole ensemble here. Let's see. We got a hoodie that apparently has nothing on it. Is it just black? Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Okay, good. It does have World of Tanks on the front. There's the Lego socks. They're made of Legos. 2 keychains, a pin. Pin. Who wears pins? On like hats or something? I don't know. There's the flask. Now I would be into the flask. I could do that. Does it zoom in more? No, that's all you get. Oh, look at this. T-shirt and a nice box. Okay, that is enough of that. Let's go to... I told you this is RTS, Random Tangent Sunday, Premium Shop, coming at you. What do we got? Okay, there's the T103. I thought it would be Monday. It happened to be, this weekend, I think. Pre-sale for all of you premium account holders. I'm assuming this next Monday-ish. 23 hours, yeah, there you go. Then everybody can buy this bad boy. And Kill to Win gets one for free. I will tell Domo, and he will credit your account sometime in the next century. Actually, he's been really good, so I would expect it Monday or Tuesday at the latest. Don't quote me, okay? Don't quote me. Or we could start some CC drama, which we'll get to in a minute. What else? We got some Fire and Ace tanks still up. The 50 TP prototype is in the shop for $40. At least for me, I have a 15% discount. I'm assuming you do too. This is for the KV122. If you are Twitch/Amazon Prime, that's all kind of linked in there. Then you can get the KV122. I guess you get a Twitch Prime account if you have Amazon Prime and you would link the accounts. I have done that. Those care packages, you're going to get one every month for like a year or so. And it's got some pretty cool stuff. It's worth doing. If you already have Amazon Prime, you're a person who orders stuff online, link those 2 accounts. It's kind of a pain, but not that hard. And you get free stuff. There you go. Let's see, gold, probably nothing going on here. It would help it. Oh, look at this. Quick starter kit, 49% off for $5. Not bad. 1,000 gold, 100,000 credit in 3 days. That was very natural. That one flowed really well, except for the fact that I'm telling you about it. But we'll get there eventually. We will get there. Vehicles, I don't know where there is, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. The Berlin 6. So they've added a couple tanks to this. It's now $100. Remember, you get the brother-in-arms zero skill crew with these guys? What is it exactly? I've lost track of what tanks are in here now. The IS-2, the Rudy, the Cromwell B, the 122S, the Thunderbolt was added, and okay, now the Tiger 131 has been added. That is a big bundle. A big bundle O tank. Here's that Watt Premium thing again. We got the 103s. Some discounts. I don't see anything amazing here. The Lorraine is discounted. That's a good tank. So nothing else really to note there. Let's go over to the specials. Oh, I got to shift. There we go. I'm going to talk about it like the evil mastermind. Talk about everything I do. Nothing else to add here, folks. All right, there's nothing else to add here. So have a drink of coffee. I'm going to have to go warm up my coffee. Somehow I've managed to get to the end of my coffee before we're even close to the end of Coffee Talk. And that is just not, this will not stand. It will not stand. Let's move on to the missions. All righty, coffee is warmed up. It's pretty good French roast. Pretty good. It's actually Sam's Club French roast, which I mentioned it a few months ago. I went and bought another giant box of 100. I saw a pretty funny thing. Guy was talking about ways of making coffee and putting a little comment about the kind of person you are, and then he showed the Keurig thing, and he said, "Don't even bother." Whatever, man. Whatever. All right, here's the missions. There's always a bigger fish. Remember that from Star Wars? These are the May the 4th be with you, although they go to Monday. So knock those things out. You can actually get a camo. Unfortunately, I really haven't done much. I don't think I've even done one of these things, have I? How do you tell? This is so hard. Oh, I've done this 21 times. Oh. But I didn't do the blocking one, I think, is the problem. Because I've been playing this ridiculous Swedish medium tank. Which, by the way, the Tier 8 is amazing. The Tier 9 so far is a miserable experience. I'll just throw that out for you. All right, so there's that one going on. We've got player tank class right. Remember that? That's the 101, 201, 301 thing. You need a code for that. I'll try to find it and put it out there for you, but it exists. Most people have already done it. Every month you've got to put a new code in. Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. This is still the old. I haven't put a code in for this. This is from April, and it goes to May 9th. That's odd. All right, so anyway, that's still going. I would imagine there's going to be a code for that then, after May 9th. Okay. Fire and Ice, that's the one I was talking about. And it looks like I have my... Yep, it's on my UDIS 16, so that is the correct one, it looks like. Congratulations, Team Fire. Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's what I was trying to remember. This camo is actually the wrong camo. It's the old Wargaming Fest camo. It's not the camo they advertise. And there is a note out right now that they're going to end up giving you both. This was by accident, so they're going to give you the other one. So if you're wondering where your actual Fire camo is, this is similar but not the same camo, as you recall on my tank in there. So we just go like this back to the garage. It's that's the Wargaming Fest camo, and the camo they promise is different. So that will eventually be credited. I forgot all about that. Oh man, it's like the Geico. Is it Geico where Mayhem? You know, he's like happens. Mayhem showed up. All right, the WZ-131 is on track. I like the Chinese lights, man. They're a lot of fun. They're more of a combat light. So if you're more about shoot people than hide, then that's probably your cup of tea light-wise. Okay, scavenger hunt. Okay, all right, let's unpack the scavenger hunt just a little bit here. Pretty self-explanatory, lots of good improvements. I actually linked, whose was it? Was it Xander's? It wasn't Xander's. Dadgummit. Somebody's video who actually did, maybe it was Xander. He did an interview with Domo about the CC, not the CC, see it's on my mind, the scavenger hunt program and the challenges, trials, and tribulations, and what version we have right now, which seems to be working a lot better for the most part. You will still get codes from CCs. What you don't have to worry about is worrying about who the next CC is, because there's actually a massive list. If you go to the link on the portal, it'll tell you exactly who's going next. I think sometimes it even has the time. You get the code, you put it in, then you track the codes. Unfortunately, it's not meant to show you up here, which is irritating, or here. Click on scavenger hunt, look up here. I've done 4. There's been 4 days so far. Today's the 5th. The code hasn't come out, so I know I've done this 4 times. That's an improvement, all right? Unfortunately, you got to go to this little card to get it. Every time you then get in the top 10, all right, let me back this up. Let's say you got 20 codes, and that number said 20, and you've not played a game in those 20 days. If you sit down and play the 20 games in your top 10, you will get this each time. So the point is, you don't have to do it the day after you put in the code. At least you have to do it before the entire scavenger hunt's over. I'm making that really confusing, aren't I? It doesn't matter when you play the games, as long as you've done the codes, you're going to get your prizes, provided you don't do it on June 1st. Okay. Whew, that's hard. This one is once. I think it's the first time you do it, or you redeem a code. You're getting, oh, what is it? Coffee with cinnamon buns. Look at that coffee. Cola. All that stuff, right? So you're getting food for each one of them. Then you get into the number of codes. So at 5 codes, you get some small kits. This kind of cracked me up. All right, so what you're telling me is every day I put it in, I get these goodies, which are really good. And then if I get 5 codes, I get some small kits. Okay, that's fine. On 10 codes, or 12 codes, I thought it was 10 codes. It says 10 codes somewhere else, doesn't it? Why is this not in order? Oh my God. All right, 12 codes, you get large kits. What would be next? 20 codes, you get a garage slot. That's cool, especially for free-to-play players. Garage slots are great. 30 codes and 31 codes are 10,000 and 30,000 experience. Remember, that's the tank you play it on. So make sure you're playing your grinding tank when you're going to knock out the 30th code. All right, so the one before the 30th is the 29th. Then play that twice, because you want the 30th and 31st and be in the top 10, and you're going to drop 40,000 experience on your tank. All right. Hopefully I confused that for everybody. That was the intent. Why do I have 2 player class? Wait a minute. Wow. May 1st. See, this was the problem that they supposedly shut down the missions for, and I just noticed it's still up. All right, we've got 2 player class, your tank type rights. They pulled down the missions because people were double tapping these. But now it looks like they're back. I don't know if they're still double tapping or not, meaning that 2 missions were tripped whenever you did one because they had 2 going at one time. I don't know, folks. This is interesting. Not sure what's going on with that. There'll probably be a patch on Monday or Tuesday or something to deal with that. But there you go. That's happening. It's happening. Just for your SA, if you bought a tank and it had the X number of battles at times 5, 20 or 30 or whatever it was, it will show up here in other missions. So I've had the T-34B that did that. How many times have I done it? I have 20 completions left, so however many it was to begin with. The LC-90 has 9 completions left. So it hangs out down here. And then premium missions. This is the new thing we talked about last week. Every day, an extra 50,000. You get in the top 5, you get times 3, and then you can get 25 bonds for 5 vehicles destroyed. All right, that was a lot. Holy cow. Let's move on to subjects du jour. So I usually play in the mornings and the afternoon to midday, I guess. I don't have a lot of time to play at night, doing lots of other things, wah. But I had some time last night, Saturday night. And I was playing probably about 11 o'clock at night, and it's a kind of a different experience actually, and it's I don't know, it's a bit more irritating. I don't want to necessarily say toxic, so I've gone on my rants about calling things toxic. But it was an interesting experience. Ended up getting TK'd by a platoon of very good players, who one of them came up behind me, echelon on a corner. I'm looking that way. He's on the outside of the echelon. I pulled up to take a shot. As I was pulling up, he shoots me in the back of the turret. And I say, hey, thanks for the TK. Sort of expecting, sorry about that. But no, he goes offensive, goes counter-offensive on me. And says, well, pull up in front of me, and that's what you deserve. And I said, okay. And then words were exchanged, shots fired. And he says, do it again, I'll shoot you again. I'm like, all right, whatever. So we're fighting. I pull out to get a shot. He shoots me right in the back of the turret. And because I was zoomed out, trying to see what was going to happen, he definitely moved his gun, shot me right. So I'm down. He was in a TP-60 something or other. I'm in this piece of junk. And I'm down, 900 hit points or 1,000, whatever it is. That thing hits for 600. So maybe it was down 1,200. I think it was down to like 150, 200 hit points. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then his buddy in the Grill 15 finishes me off because he can't shoot me 3 times or he'll get banned, right? That's the system. He understands that. And I look at it afterwards. They're both 61% players. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, dude, seriously? But that wasn't the only thing that happened. It was a completely different feel at night. There was a lot of what I would say were much better players running around, but they were definitely not being ambassadors of the game. And I wasn't exactly one either. After that happened, we got into it a little bit. And had I kept my mouth shut, I could have sent in the replay and probably got both of them a little vacation. Because up until the point I got triggered and salty after I was dead, I hadn't really done anything wrong. And I didn't really necessarily do anything wrong. We jabber jawed. There wasn't any necessarily, bad language, but we were certainly getting after each other. I just thought it was kind of interesting, and it was that whole feel the whole night playing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it different? Do you get a different feel at different times of the day? I don't know. Strange. But anyway, really quickly, the medium tank rebalance is back on, which we sort of knew. I'm not even going to worry about advertising it or reporting on it. It's going to be an iterative process till they figure this thing out. But you remember the Leo, the AMX 60, potentially the rebalance of the 430 and the 430U are still being looked at. I'll worry about it when they're actually in patch notes for a patch that's coming out, as opposed to super test stuff where they, although I suppose it was common test last time. It really seemed like it was a pretty sure thing, and then they got pulled. We'll see what Wargaming does with that. All right, let's move on to CC drama because this is kind of fun. All right, I found this kind of interesting because it goes back to what we talked about last couple of weeks about the industry around the industry and how it kind of operates within itself. And apparently, over in EU, there's a bit of an issue with the CC program, with some CCs feeling like there are CCs that have a higher level of access. Basically, that's what it comes down to. There's some Q&As, people getting invited, other people not getting invited. Potentially something that's been going on for years over there. And I thought it was interesting because it really kind of shows the level of access potentially, or importance maybe not access, importance of the regions, right? So RU and EU being really definitely on the top, NA being probably down below right there. The devs are in Minsk. The majority of the players are over on the continent and in Russia. It makes sense, right? It's an economic decision. It's a company decision, that kind of thing. So it does make sense. Personally, I don't see much of that over here on NA, but I'm a low level CC on NA. So if I'm a low level CC on NA, then I'm probably not even on the radar over there on EU, and that's fine. That's not what we're really talking about. But it is interesting, the stratification, and it happens in anything, whether it's a company, whether it's the military, whatever it is. There are people with certain ostensibly similar ranks or positions or access. Even those groups are stratified, and you're going to have top dogs and bottom dogs and all of those things. That's just the way that it is. So I thought it was interesting here because the issue is, again, somebody got invited to do something that somebody else didn't get invited to do, and now we've got a post, and this happens to be on Rita's blog. And I'm just, you can read it. All the names are there. Rita obviously posted it. She's involved in that. They're talking about things like, well, they're afraid to talk about it. They're not getting information out of the Q&A from the devs and all that stuff. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm not really sure what the issue is. I'm not over there. I don't see that on the NA server. But again, we're stratified, in my opinion, at a lower level. And they can't invite every CC. So apparently a couple of the CCs have some inside access. The information is behind an NDA, which is a little bit unusual. I mean, if you have a CC program and you're inviting CCs, the idea is that they then bring that out to the community as a general idea. It doesn't have to be that way. The company can do anything they want NDA-wise. They might have just been picking some very good players and very knowledgeable individuals about their game and their community, picking their brain, and they just want to leave it under an NDA because they're not necessarily going to do anything or everything with it, right? go there, you do a Q&A, you come back, you put this laundry list, throw it up onto the screen, blah, and hey, here's all these things that are coming, and then none of it ever shows up, and then everyone's ranting about how wargaming is a bunch of liars. Noted. They have lied about stuff. True. So have CCs. So have you. Anyway, that's not to make it a good thing necessarily. I'm just commenting on human nature, to be quite honest. But the dynamics between the industry and this whole CC program, very, very, very interesting, because our benefit from it is getting access. Their leverage is that access. I talked about it last week. There's people making money off this. This is a big blog. There's probably advertising money coming through it. So it is important to people who own things like this to get access to drive clicks and to continue doing what they are doing. At the same time, they want to be independent enough that they're taken seriously by other gamers, things like that. So it's a bit of a tightrope right there. But you can read it. It's kind of interesting about what's going down. A lot of, unfortunately, instead of just being kind of a matter of fact report, it gets into a lot of, I'm going to say personal opinion. That's not necessarily the right thing, because of course it's personal opinion. It's a blog. But I guess there's a lot of he said, she said, and I've talked to people who will remain nameless, and they're unhappy, and they're going to do some vague things maybe, but I'm not sure, that that kind of thing, as opposed to going, hey, look, here's what we feel about the CC program. This is happening, this is happening, this is happening, this is not happening, and there it is. Anyway, I know I didn't really get into the details of it. You can read it. One of the reasons I didn't is I'm not here to poke at any specific individual CCs anywhere, whether it's EU, RU, or here. Not that I would know what the RU guys are saying anyway. But it's more of a bigger picture, just to me, interest in the whole system and how it works or doesn't work. It does make me wonder a little bit about, all right, so why did they, what were they asking? That's just me being curious, not because I want to create drama or believe that there's some nefarious thing or even some good thing potentially happening from it. I'm just kind of curious what the company at some point went, you know what, let's invite these dudes. These guys are going to actually talk to our no kidding devs, right? Not the community guys, not the community manager guys, not the guys in satellite offices, but no kidding, the developers who are pushing the code, or at least managing the pushers of the code and deciding the direction of the game. We got a 7-8-year-old game, very mature, pretty big community around it, pretty big group of players around the world. And we're going to bring a couple of these community contributors in, and we want to pick their brains potentially on direction. What is that direction? Is there a big change? Is it steady as she goes? What were they asking? That would be fascinating to me. I don't know if we'll ever get that information. And to some extent, that's the complaint here, right? So something like that just happened, and we don't have any SA on it as community contributors. Gets into a little bit of the stratification thing, which I just understand as a matter of course, that as a YouTuber with a whole 1,200 subs, what I do say, the influence I have is very different from some of the guys out there who've got 50,000 subs. I think Klaus is somewhere around there, 50,000. A couple of other guys are around 50,000. Then you get some of the big EU guys at millions or 1.5 million, that kind of thing. So you have to be realistic about it. So to some extent, this is just me, yabbering from the cheap seats, right? I'm back up there in the $10 seats at the top of the stadium, and trying to yell at the quarterback down there. He can't hear a damn thing I'm saying. But if I take a battery and I chuck it, I might get someone's attention, right? All right, that's pretty much it. Did you know that Philadelphia fans once threw batteries at Santa? Classy. That goes back to earlier when I talked about Christmas being taken down. See how that works? See how they're kind of connected right there? All right, that is it, I think, for Coffee Talk. And I've run out of things to say. I don't know. Let's wrap this thing up. We'll find out in a minute. Actually, a second. Well, that seems to indeed have been it. Invite code is coming. I will stream on 7 May from 9 to 12. That's the plan. Kill to win. Congratulations on the T103. We talked about missions and specials. Playing at night is a different experience. I do not like this tank. Just going to throw that out there. I'm hoping that when I finish the grind, I'm at 48,000. Oh, I did want to talk about one thing. Let me get to that in just a second. I'm hoping that when I finish it, I'm going to like it. But my goodness, it does not do the same things that the Tier 8 can do. I'll do a review. I have a review on the Tier 8. Check that out as well. I will do a review on this thing, but it just... Anyway, we'll get to that later. Later in the week or weeks. And we talked about the CC drama. All right. What did I just say I was going to talk about? I've completely forgot. I remembered. Okay. Before we go, one thing to note, and I'm sure you have, but this is pretty cool. They have really sped up the grind. And I noted it when I did my review of the Tier 8. If you look at this, I ground to the Tier 9, 150,000. Let's go to the... Where do we go? Research. 150,000 to get to the UDES 16. I did that in exactly 25 battles. 150,000 divided by 25. Do the math. That is a lot per battle. And that has to do with the manageable experience and all the very good experience missions and things that they have going on. The times X. Spit on myself. The fact that they can be stacked. Pretty amazing. And that has allowed people, I think, and is going to allow you to grind through lines much quicker. Especially if you're managing it correctly. But that's pretty amazing. That would have taken a lot more. Many, many more. Now, I did unlock all of the modules with free XP. So that would have added some battles. But still, would have been amazing otherwise. And if you look at my UDES 16, which I'm not particularly doing well right now, 48% with a fairly low DPG, especially after my 4 losses in a row last night, 2 of which had 0 damage. That may have colored my opinion of night playing, by the way, that I just stunk, but there you go. 21 battles, and we are at 48,000. Now, you might go, well, geez, you're not doing very well with that compared to the UDES 14 Alt 15. But what I did with the UDES 14 Alt 15 is I played 5 battles a day with the manageable one, or 5 winning battles, and then I stopped playing it. This one I kind of ground last night and was playing past the point where I had the manageable XP. So I ended up with 21 battles and only 48,000, which is still a pretty good average, actually, if you think about it. All right, that's all I wanted to add at the end. Guys, I'm heading out. Got some coffee to drink here, and we'll play a couple games in this miserable thing. Y'all have a good Sunday, and we will see you later in the week. Yeah, I'm glad you stuck around. I actually have one more thing for you. I was going to make a separate video out of this, but it's kind of short. I'm going to talk a little bit about the manageable experience right after this on how it works and some of the ins and outs of it. So enjoy. Again, see you later. I didn't have anything else to say. I was thinking, what else would I say right here? Nothing. All right, yo, this is Guido, and we are doing some testing here of the new premium account stuff. So my understanding here is that the ×3 manageable bonus to experience does not apply to crew skills or crew experience. So you can see that I've just won this battle in my IS-3A, and old Simon Claus here needs 10,312 to his next skill. So we ended up in this case, and we'll see what extra we get, but we ended up with 1,457. Actually, the base was 971, and the total was 5,974. So we're going to go ahead and click on the manageable bonus to experience, and we should see extra experience. It's not going to show up on this card here, but once we do it, we're going to open up old Simon Claus again and see if this number has changed. Experience required to increase skill. So we're going to write this down, 10,312. So I do not forget, we're going to go ahead and apply. It looks like we're going to get 4,371 extra. I've also got the Accelerate Crew Training pressed here, and you can see that I have 0 skill up here on the right in my IS-3, or 0. I do have 0 skill, that's a fact. I have 0 experience up here because it's a premium, and I have the Accelerate Crew Training thing going. So my understanding is the experience will show up here. I will get nothing in or on the crew for crew experience, but I will get the 4,371. So I think this number here is going to pop up here, and I'll get nothing for the crewman. So we're going to close. We'll just actually see what happens here. We're going to apply. There we go. We got a bunch extra. There it is, 4,371 up here. That's eligible to be turned into free experience. And we'll go ahead and close Simon Claus. We'll come back to him and see if that has changed, because I don't know if it updates. It has not. 10,312. So it looks like that is true. When you use the manageable bonus to experience, even if you have the accelerate crew training clicked, it's going to go onto the tank, which will be eligible to be turned into free experience later, and it will not help your crew. So that is actually kind of interesting right there. It is purely experience, and it doesn't add anything else. Now, what I didn't actually look at was, did my free experience change? So we're going to have another test and see if free experience changed. I did not take that number down. So let me go back, get another win, and we'll check that out. All right, so I just got another win in the IS3A, even though I did not much of anything. You can see I've got 4 more of these left. By the way, these are 5 a day, which is quite a bit actually. So I'm not going to get a whole bunch. I'm only going to get 1,626. As you can see, I didn't do much. I only did 542 experience. So we're going to add another, what, times 3. That's 1,626. But what we're watching is to see if my free experience goes up. 308,687. I'm just going to write it down. I'm pretty sure I can remember it, or you're going to watch it as we do it. But let's just see. That way we know we got it down. 308,687. That checks, so we're going to go ahead and apply that. And we've got 308,769. All right, so it looks like the free experience is given when you do that, so that's nice. Math in public, what was that? About 687 to 769. A little less than 100, right? Okay, a little less than 100. Interesting. So you do get some free experience when you do that. You just do not get any more crew experience.